Good afternoon and welcome to Friday Afternoon at the Manor. My name is John Joseph Massandrea, and we do have a special treat in this month of December who's going to teach us all about caring for our mind, body, and spirit. But to welcome our wonderful afternoon speaker is going to be Susan Johnson. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you, John Joseph. Welcome, everyone, and welcome, Fazia. She's worked at as a fitness coordinator for seniors programs, so there's no excuse for not being able to do what you're going to show us, right? Take care. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Susan and John Joseph. And thank you for joining us today. My name is Fazia, and I also use Sheila, when we come to Q&A, whichever one you remember, it's still my name. So I came to teaching fitness because I had health issues. I have numerous allergies. Actually, when I was tested, there were more things I was allergic to than I was not allergic to. So I was given a list of 300 things that I should not eat and 30 things that I could eat. And most of them were like parsley and flavorings that I could eat. So what my allergic reaction results in is pain. I have inflammation. So the inflammation starts in my stomach, it goes all over my body. So as we get older, we get things like arthritis. So that I feel a lot more acutely than if I didn't have this condition. So because I'm so sensitive to how pain impacts me, even though my conditions may not be serious, like from the time I was 24, I had mild arthritis in my knees. I started developing a little bit in the low back, but it was amplified because of my condition that's based on these allergies. So I started doing, I studied yoga because it's a very mild form of exercise, and it addressed my anxiety and my worries. And as a young mother thinking, what's happening to me? You know, are my kids are gonna be okay? I don't know what's happening. So yoga was mild stretching, and I was able to do that. I became a certified instructor in 2000. And I've been teaching yoga almost every single day since. I probably get some weekends off now though. So, I then became certified as a fitness instructor as well. And then I took some advanced yoga training for therapeutic yoga. So that means if your hip hurts, don't do the forward bend in such a way, do it in a different way so that your hips don't hurt. So it's all about adaptation and living within our comfort zone and still getting exercise. More recently, about 6 years or so ago, Western University in Ontario has a lovely program called Active Aging. And so I took their certification course, and it's all about, as we age, how can we remain active, and how can we continue to do all the things that we love to do? You know, whether it's gardening, going on a bus tour, you have to get up 3 bus steps, right? So it's not about going on a marathon around the world or winning an Olympic gold medal, though bravo to the seniors that do that. But this is just our daily lives. And I became a lot more focused because I had knee issues on how we can keep our mobility. So if we sit down and we can't get up, that's it. We've lost our independence, right? We've got to depend on somebody else or be in a wheelchair, things like that. So I focused a lot on keeping our legs strong and our spine strong. So basically, when you are in my class, you feel great because it's to your level and it's exactly according to your needs. I call out different options. If you have knee pain, lower back, and so on. Then you feel better after because you would have gotten stronger and you would have managed your pain. So exercise can be a great pain management. When we do cardio, it releases these feel-good chemicals and it reduces the pain as well. So it's a great way to manage pain. We feel very uplifted in our mind as well. So nice all around. Now, if you have never exercised in your life, like as a way to keep healthy, then it's difficult to start, but you can. We've all done work, physical work, right? So you can just think of it as a different way of doing housework or things like that, or gardening. And welcoming it with an open mind and heart, you will gain a lot from it. So I've gotten to the point where I will start the new activity and suddenly I'll find, oh, my back is aching from this activity. So I don't give up. What I do is I start doing some of my exercises with modifications, and I make it an ergonomic work activity. So this is another thing I teach. So if you are doing a certain activity, I can help you do that in a way that doesn't cause you pain, doesn't break down your body, but actually makes you stronger in your weak areas. So that's it. Making ourselves stronger in our weak areas so we can do a lot of things that we may have thought that we couldn't do any longer. So I think the best way for you to get a feel of what I do is for me to actually give you a short run through of what a class is like. So before we do that, there's a few questions you need to ask yourself that if this is safe for you. So has your doctor ever said to you that you should not do certain things? For example, if you've had a hip replacement, your doctor will tell you never to cross your knees over to one side, right? If you have had surgery on the eyes, removing a cataract, you're not supposed to lower your head below your belly. If you have a heart condition or high blood pressure, raising your arms overhead is going to put a strain on the heart. So you will always just have one hand up and one hand down. And there's no need to have both arms up. Not at all. Okay. So these are a few things. So try to think about if there are some medical conditions you have and that your doctor has said with your physical body to limit certain things. And you're going to do that. You're there to take care of yourself. I'm not there to see what you're doing. So be sure not to do any of those things that you have been advised not to do. Now, that being said, you can remain seated in a chair for this. Okay, you don't have to stand. I do have advanced classes where we stand and we do pretty much the same things. And we'll see how the time goes if I can give you a feel of it. Okay, so maybe you'd get a sip of water. I would also say, check around your area, make sure that it's safe. Like if you were to stretch out your leg, I'm just going to move back so you can see my feet. So you want to just extend your leg out a little bit away from you so that you could judge if you're going to hit it on a table, right? Don't want to do that. Nice. And I'm just going to put a little more of the light back in because I've moved back just to make sure you can see me. Okay. Now you will want to take your thigh, not your foot, just your thigh out and in and out and in. Maybe that's causing some discomfort. You'll know right away. Maybe you don't want to do that. Sit a little bit forward on your chair. You'll notice that you can keep a bit upright and put the feet flat. You can hold your chair. Now, if this is not comfortable for your back, you can sit way back into your chair and let the backrest support you. Okay. So you're going to just lift your heels up, right and left, right and left. All you're doing, you're not lifting your foot up, just your heels, right, left, right, left. What this does is if you have diabetes, it's going to help increase the circulation in the lower limbs. A lot of time we may get peripheral neuropathy from having something like diabetes. It doesn't have to be that. It could be other nerve impingements. Okay. So this will help increase circulation in the legs. Just walking with the heels going up and down, up and down. Your toes, your ball of your foot is remaining on the floor. Okay. Get a sense that feel that you're balanced, like your hips are level. Okay. And your shoulders are level. If you're not sure if you're level, put your hands on your chair and just kind of run it along the seat so you feel what level is. Take a look at the floor off by the baseboard and see what level is. So you have that in your head. This is what helps when we're standing with our balance. So I also teach balance. I teach false presentation. These are all woven into my class. I do teach it separately as well. I teach blind adults. So my descriptions, you don't even have to look at me. You can understand what I'm saying. I do not play music because I want you to hear me. And you are welcome to play music if you like, as long as your volume is off. Okay, notice how if your hips are moving a lot or not. Good. So now let the feet be still and notice how your feet feel. Probably you can feel them, right? Tingling. You can feel some circulation there. You did something. All right, let's get the hands warmed up. So you're going to do little circles. Make sure it's comfortable for you. You can open your hands. You can make a fist. You don't have to do it any specific way. There's no right or wrong. You're just trying to get the wrists to have some movement. And then in the other direction. These little things, so surprising how it can create so much health and well-being for us. You know, when you have pain, it's not a happy place, not a good place at all. So if we can get rid of some of that discomfort and feel comfort in our lives, it will help. Turn your palms facing forward and then let them go towards the floor, face forward and to the floor. I teach Tai Chi. I'm a certified Tai Chi instructor. This is one of the basic moves in Tai Chi. When you have your hands face forward, you press it a little bit forward. Keep your elbows a little bent and then lower down. Try that again. Press your palms a little forward, elbows not fully straight, and lower down. One more. So feel as if there's water. You're in a pool and you're pressing it down. Bring it up. Press it down. Some people love Tai Chi because it's a slow movement. And with Tai Chi, you're not just working your bones and muscles. We are all the connective tissue and the fascia, the casing. The fascia is the casing in the muscle, that little thin membrane. You know, if you've had a chicken breast or a rib, it's a thin membrane that's surrounding the muscle and the tissue. That's your hands rest. Notice how you feel. If you feel anything negative in your back, this is not the outcome we're seeking. You're going to sit way back in your chair like that, and you're going to let your back rest. Okay. And then when you feel better, you can move forward once more. Okay. So that would be a sample of warm up, what we do for warm up. Then for cardio, which you want to let the heart race a little bit. Now, you need to know what impacts your heart. If your doctor has told you that you shouldn't be doing any cardio, don't. Very rarely will that be the case, okay? If you have not been told any of these things, this is going to be fine for you. However, you go by how you feel. You might have heard it when you're doing cardio, you got to take your pulse rate, look at the watch, basically be a nurse, right, Anne? But you don't have to. You can just go by how you feel. If you feel tired, you're working too hard. If you feel energetic and happy, you're spot on. If you feel breathless, so I'll teach you how to listen to your breath. If you feel that you're a little breathless by listening to your breath, it's too much. How fast you breathe is exactly how hard your heart is pumping. So it's a good way to measure yourself on your heart rate if you hear your breath and how you perceive yourself to be feeling. Okay, so cardio, you got to get a little more going. So we're going to move now into more of a walk. You can still let your toes keep touching. Okay, some folk are really comfortable with lifting the foot right up, and you can. So I'm going to teach you one thing that I teach. I teach core engagement and how to have the internal muscles hold up your body so your back doesn't have to. This will minimize your back pain in your life if you currently have that. It will prevent you from getting back pain. It's going to make you stronger. And these inner muscles will also make you feel good because they lift you up and you feel strong and light inside. So these are physical happy moments, right? So it doesn't mean that it's just the mind or it's spiritual. This is just purely our body is meant to move. We are built for motion. Everything hinges and our body feels happy to move. So we just get in the zone. So here we go. Walk, 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 right? Gonna walk. So we're gonna do just a couple minutes of this. There's a few things that I like to do. So let's say You can do hands and arms together, so you can move it like in a little punching motion. If you would prefer to just hold your chair, keep you steady, you can do that. The first basic move is something towards the front of the body. So move your leg to the front by putting your heel down and bringing it back in. Heel down and bringing it back in. Okay, I'm going to turn a little sideways so you can kind of see that from the side. Heel and in, heel and return, heel and return. Now, I'm not sticking my belly out because that would mean my back would hurt. I'm not overarching, but I'm feeling like my belly is working a little bit. Okay. And there we go. Now, pretend you're skiing. It's a lovely, fresh snowfall, right? And this is where we use our mind to take us to a place that we like and help motivate us. Okay, so we're heel digs, and it's kind of like snowshoeing or skiing. And I live in a place where it's winter wonderland. Truly, we have, right now, I'm probably looking at 3 feet high snowbanks. At the end of the winter, they'll be like 8 or 9 feet. It's pretty northern Ontario. So if you don't play, you're just gonna not have a good time, right? Now, you may not like snow, so you could feel like you're on the sandy beach. Good. Okay, and that's enough for that movement. So I don't do counting. I'm timing. I have my clock on, my timer, and I go for 30 seconds to a minute. You can stop at any time, but just don't stop your body. Just go back to those little heel raises, okay? There's 2 reasons for doing that. If you were to stop cold, you lose the cardio zone. But if you just bring it all the way down to the most slow, gentle walk you possibly can do, you're still keeping your heart rate up and you're helping your body to cool down. When you exercise, the blood flow goes more into the hands and the feet, right? That's why your hands and feet start to tingle and you feel that sensation. Now, if you were to just stop, what happens is your heart's got to pull that blood all the way back from the heart, from the feet and the hands. But if you just went really slowly and you did like little wave with your hand or open and close or tap, 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 that's all you need to do to keep it safe. That means your heart isn't working hard. Your hands are helping and your feet are helping your heart to get that blood going back and you'll cool down. So it's called an active rest. So the next time you go on a trip and you feel exerted from walking a lot, don't just sit immediately. What I would suggest you do is you stand, hold on to where you're going to sit so you're safe, and just tap your feet like the slowest walk and your hands just for a little while. You'll feel your breath coming back. And then if you want to sit, you can sit. Okay, so that's a real life thing you can do. All right, some other moves will be to tap to the back. Okay, so you move your limbs to the back and you can do that with the hands. Another move is to tap to the side. When you tap side, you do want to make sure that the thigh is going there and not just your feet, okay? All the while you're keeping yourself upright. So this is called a half jumping jack. So everything that they do in a regular exercise program, we do, except we just do it at a lower level of intensity. But you get the same conditioning, the same muscles are working. You're looking fantastic. Nice, good work. And then just walk. So you can feel probably where your heart rate's going up. You can count to yourself up to 10. 1, 2, 3. To hear your breath. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can feel my breath just a little bit up. And that's great. That means your body's working well for you. So now after we do a little bit of cardio, half of my class is about cardio because cardio makes you very healthy. It makes any of the illnesses that we get that is lifestyle illnesses and not a contagion, right? Like if you were these like heart disease, things like that, it can improve all of those illnesses. It has a positive impact on. things that are contagious, you can't do anything about it, right? So those are different set of illnesses. But anything that's lifestyle, that you didn't just catch, this can impact positively. So this means you will live a longer life. Now, you may live a longer life and you're inside, you're healthy, good heart, everything, but you may not have a happy life if you're not strong. If you sit in a chair and you can't get up, right? So the next part of the class, we spend 15 minutes or so, 10 minutes on strength training, because that's what's going to make you able to do things with that extra life, right? You got all that time now and energy and health. So you got to keep the muscles strong. Okay, so roll the shoulders for a little cool down. Roll them the other way. And we'll do a little bit of strengthening for our body, for the joints. So an example is, pretend you have a motorbike and you're revving it up. Vroom, 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 okay? So these little pulsing movements, before we were doing a gentle movement to warm up, this is actually strengthening your wrists and stabilizing it. Now, be sure it's comfortable for you to do it, because some days it may not be. And then you can turn your hands the other way and pretend you've got a flashlight and very tiny pulse on the ceiling with the flashlight from the back to the front of the ceiling, okay? So now you're strengthening the wrists. You're gonna do it with the ankle. So you can have your right ankle, your right leg. You can lift it with your hand if you like, and just lift the foot up and down so the ankle is getting a little bit of stability there. Nice. And then you're going to put it down and you can try the other side. So these are stabilizing your joints. Now with the spine, I also teach how to stabilize your spine. So lean a little bit back, hold your knee though, and upright and lean forward. Do it one more time. If you notice, we are hinging as if there was a little hinge here at the hip flexor where your leg inserts into your hip. There's a crease in your pant. You put your thumb there, lean forward, it squeezes your thumb. Upright, there's a little bit of a crease. Going back, the crease is opening. So this, I teach you about your body, how it works. Forward bend, upright, and backward bend. So when you're sitting up, you want to be a little bit in a forward bend. Okay, you don't want to feel like you're leaning back, and you don't want to lean too far forward. Okay, one more thing, slump, just kind of slump, and notice how this actually became bigger. Sit up and it gets smaller. Okay, now we want it smaller. If you slump, we kind of feel we're sitting properly, we're not up. There's a lot of corrections I do in each class, and it's not so boring and trying to give you a little flavor of everything all at once. I weave it in so that it's just naturally in the class. So now that we cool down, we don't have to keep moving. Okay, you can take your breaks. So I do a couple of things. I use weights and also have a sip of water always ready, or a nice cup of tea, which is what I have. So these are only 2 pounds, but they are very good for keeping your arm strength. Now, some folks will lift a heavier weight. If you don't have weight, you can use water bottles. So a common one would be to just sit upright. So you can pretend you have the weights. You don't actually have to have it. Just hold your hand as if you've got weights in your hand. Okay. Turn your palms to face forward. So you have pretend weights in your hand. And you're going to keep your upper arm where it is. So from your shoulder to your elbow, just keep it right where it is. But from the lower arm, where your fingers and your elbows are, in that area, you're going to bend and let the lower arm raise up. So the hands are towards the shoulders. And then you return to your original position. Nice. And then we can do up to 16, but we'll just do 8 right now. 3, 4, and then go a little slower. 1 and 2 and 3, and then down, and 1 and 2 and 3. And down. Notice how when you go slower, 1 and 2 and 3, you can feel it more. and 1 and 2 and 3. So this is how to make it more effective. If you go a little slower, that's just regular, and relax. So I'm going to put my weights down. I wanted to show you another tool that I use, and I normally mail one out to folks that are in the class participating. So these are called Therabands. It's kind of like a stretchy band, and they're different colors. The colors kind of tell you if they are hard, if it's equivalent to a weight level. So the green ones are equivalent to maybe a 3-pound weight. Okay, so again, you can just pretend that you've got this in your hand. One thing I like to do is tell folks take it on their waist like that. So I'm going to drop the band after, so I can be just like you. But what this does, it adds some resistance, right? Okay, and it's very easy to use. So what you would do is, if you don't have the band, you just have your palms forward and you press as if the wall. You use your mind and you pretend that there's this wall, and you want to push it away, and you can, and pull back and push. Now let's go to the right and pretend you've got a huge piano that you got to push to the right, and then grab the reins of a stubborn mule that you got to pull over to the left, and then push a heavy piano away from you. Grab the reins of this stubborn mule and pull it in. Push and pull. You can see how it's adding a little bit of resistance, right? It's also giving you a nice twist. So that's some of the trainings I've had, I weave into the class. So this is 20 plus years of training. I've done is eccentrics, where it is a Canadian ballerina, and she's developed a program that's Tai Chi based. So I am a Tai Chi instructor, a yoga instructor, and a personal trainer. So what she does is, this is very much Tai Chi, pushing and pulling, okay? Very nice. So let's finish the last portion, is a stretch. Now we strengthened the biceps just now. So a good stretch would simply be arms wide and right where your wrists are, okay, palms forward. If you point your fingers back, it means right? It's as if you want to press the walls away from you. Thumb up. And you'll notice how that stretches the biceps, the front of the arms. You go hold a stretch for about 20 seconds. Let your shoulders relax, let your low back relax. Breathe and release. Good. Very nice. Excellent. Now you're just going to pause here and sit. And we do a little sit at every class, about a minute. And all you do is feel how your body is just loved having that movement. So that was 30 seconds. You can move your fingers a little. And I think I'll end the little demo class there, but that was a really good preview. There is a few things that I teach as well, and that comes from Feldenkrais. So the Feldenkrais method is however you got into a body position is how you would get out of it. So sometimes we have trouble standing from a seated, and we've got to hold on to the arm rest, and our legs start to get weak. So basically, if you were to, you could try it if you feel safe to stand, just keep your chair behind you. When we're going to sit down, we normally hold on and we sit down like that, right? And we have to be dependent now coming up. So what is being shown with this is that you hinge at this hip flexor, okay? That we were talking about earlier. You hinge there, you keep your thigh back. So don't let your thigh rock forward and your knees come forward. Keep your thigh back. Okay. And then you take your bum, slide it down on a pretend wall, and that brings you down. In order to get up, you'll be doing the same thing, is you hinge at your hip flexor and you slide your bum up the wall as you come to stand. The secret is the shin. So from the knee down, it doesn't go forward. Pretend that someone's pushing on your shin and keeping it where it is, and it's the thigh that goes back inside. Okay? So now if you have difficulty coming up from a chair, you would do this on a higher, like a stool or something first. Okay, so these are specific therapies. I have my participants will normally email me and tell me that they're working on a certain condition, and I'll put that in the class. So everyone gets a little specialized help. I'm also really open to having folks with my classes. They can contact me, give me a quick call and email so I can help. So we basically always work towards becoming 1 year younger next year, right? Instead of 1 year older. So thank you for your kind attention. And I'll let John Joseph know that we can have some Q&A now if you'd like, right? So think about if you've got any questions.
Hello.
Hi.
Take you're actually quite amazing. And there we go. What happened? I just tried to move out. Oh, I'm just trying to take you off. Pin. No, usually it's quite straightforward. Oh, you pin her over there? That's why. Okay. You'd have to co-host this. Yes. No, Fazia, you're quite remarkable. I've been working out for probably 35, 40 years. And I would say I've never had a personal trainer, but I've attended fitness classes. Yes. And have done, what do you call those things when you're on the bikes? And everybody's on a bicycle. Spinning. You've done that. Done yoga. And you have a wonderful, how would you put it, audio voice in some sense of, one, it's easy to hear, and it's easy to understand what you're asking us to do. Because some people, what they do, they give you instructions that are a bit like doing trigonometry, and your body is trying to figure out how to sine and cosine when it's not quite connecting. So yeah, I mean, so you do yoga, Tai Chi. What else do you lead?
I teach eccentrics. I'm not certified, but I have taken classes, and so I weave eccentrics in there. Knee fix, specific knee classes I paid training to do. And they use lovely tools to help with posture. Use the broom handle here and there, and it helps you to keep your posture when you're going down.
Excuse me, what are eccentrics?
So eccentrics is basically, it's a Canadian founder, and she's a ballerina, Miranda Estelle, I think. And she's basically created some movements that are very slow, and they're Tai Chi based, but they are really trying to help you manage pain and reorient. So a lot of folks learn to do squats like this. So, but whereas I was teaching it just now going back. But with Tai Chi, you're doing more of a C spine, and it's better for some back conditions, especially in the sacrum joint. If you get pain where your that V is there, that's your SI joint, then you want to pull in and go down like this, and I would teach you to sit like that instead of. So that's eccentrics. It's kind of flowing, and I don't actually teach eccentrics, even though it's geared for aging population. It is rather severe, and I feel a negative impact with it. So because I'm so super sensitive in my body, I believe I was 80 when I was 20, and I'm now getting younger as I age. Soon I'll be 20. And so because I feel that, I am able to adapt it along with my therapeutic yoga background to a form that's easiest for us. So, she would be standing and doing these pushing things and going way down low and up, and not everyone can do that. So I would modify it in a chair and, push you have your body's doing the same thing, but in a gentler range.
Mm.
So that's eccentrics. I've done a lot of meditation courses too. So I am very skilled. I could do meditation classes, breathing exercises. So the meditations, there are various kinds. There is yoga meditation that's done to help with concentration, especially for students who want to study. And one example from a Christian background would be for Catholics, they do repetitive prayer. Perhaps there's something similar you can think of. And the repetitive prayer is hooking your heart and your brain, because you're thinking, and your physicality, your mouth, your voice. So you say, Hail Mary, full of grace, right? For a Catholic. And they're thinking of the stations of the cross. So their brain is engaged. Their heart, because they love Jesus. Everything is in full awareness. So when they're done there, your brain is clear. You could go and ace your math exam. I mean, I know that that's not the purpose of praying, but I'm just saying that's a tool that can be used in another way.
Well, actually, I don't think you're off the mark. I think sometimes what we've said prayer is and what it can be or has been, I think you've nailed it. Prayer, I think we overthought prayer sometimes, but the idea of centering yourself so you're not anxious, isn't that what praying is supposed to be? Do not worry about anything. Pray by supplication. And sometimes people pray the prayer, but we're still anxious. So I think you've realigned what prayer is about in a very good way, I would say. So, of course, my mind has 1,000 questions. But so Anne and Susan, and Fina, do you have any questions? No. So Fazia, okay, you probably need to come over here. We didn't bring the roving mic today, so it's just come
Hello, Fazia.
Hi, Anne.
I'll take off my mask so you can see that it's me.
Yeah, thank you for this introduction.
I think that it's so nice that we now have this Zoom platform and, we can stay in touch even though we're hundreds of kilometers away. And I know I'm interested. I think Susan is also interested. How do we sign up? How do we be part of your exercise program? How do we take one of your courses?
So you can, I offer always a free week of complimentary classes so that you can try it if you haven't, right? And it's easy to sign up. You just email me, which is basically my first name dot my last name @gmail.com. So it's fazia.ackbarali@gmail.com. And that's how you would get the Zoom link via email. So it's important to get that. I do have waivers. They're general waivers because, we're online. It's mostly about content and for you being aware that what identity theft is and things like that. Because you personally will have to take some self-responsibility as you're in your own home. But I always offer, as you've heard, many ways to remain safe. That's as simple as that. I have a really good package right now. Let's see, I think 3 months. So that's, what's that, 12 weeks? Yeah, 12 weeks of classes for $100. And normally you get 12 classes, but I doubled it. So you get 2 classes a week. So you're like, even if you're missing classes, you're not going to worry. You come and people just end up coming to every class. And if they've got a doctor's appointment and they miss one, it's no biggie. I don't want to charge where somebody's feeling like they're paying a lot and that if they miss a class, it's such a big deal. No, it's like everyone.
So it's 12 weeks, twice a week for $100.
Yes.
Wow. That's a pretty darn good deal.
Yes. And normally it is just 1 class a week for that price, but I have no, at some point I may have to change that to, a higher price, but I'm not doing that for 12 weeks or
That's
maybe
super.
24 weeks. Yeah.
Thanks so much for agreeing to do this. And I'm coming to visit you soon.
Yeah. Oh, I love your anorak sweater. It's so beautiful.
This
I remember
was
seeing
made by
it.
my mom.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, thanks.
You're very welcome.
So, Fazia, normally we don't ask people in the middle of a session about this, but here we're talking about what we're doing moving forward, and we had talked about expanding what we do here. So I'll just throw it out there. If we're going to conflab after this, and if it seemed appropriate in the new year, perhaps what we could do is called Fitness Corner with Fazia. So as a part two, maybe not necessarily the whole hour, but half an hour. It could be something we could add. I mean, keeping in mind, you sound like you're a person who has about 12 different tricks in your bag, a bit like a fitness Mary Poppins, so to speak. And you don't have to answer it right away, but think about this, and we will talk after, and Susan and Ann and I. But I think one key part, your how would you put it, presentation manner is so engaging. I think that's a key part. And so I think that would be quite wonderful. And you're in Kirkland Lake, right?
Yes, I'm in Kirkland Lake.
Well, I mean, because the beauty of Zoom, you can be anywhere.
Beautiful.
Okay, so ponder that. You don't have to answer right away. We'll talk and see what that might look like. And but thank you for being part of this, and it's been quite wonderful because I'm a fitness maniac myself. So you don't have to sell me on fitness, and it's just a matter of helping other people realize 99% of their medication, their aches and pains, are because they're not moving and not doing anything. And that's a huge part of that. And I think you clearly, as you said, when you were 20, you felt 80. I'm 58, and I've been running 15 kilometers 5 days a week. And, I feel phenomenal and no shortage of energy. But I think some people never get that, right? But it's a good thing you're promoting that. I think that's wonderful. We'll call it the gospel according to Fazia.
Okay. Well, I think you raised a very valid point in that I could never do what you do, even though I have all these tricks, because your body is at a level that I couldn't get to. And a lot of people get discouraged that they can't exercise. Yeah. So I bridge that gap. And I do this too if you're given therapy, because oftentimes a therapy given is too difficult. And many physiotherapists will say that adherence and compliance with the exercise is only 14% or less. Yeah. So I can often bridge it in the same way that, okay, I break it apart. You're supposed to lift your leg and pat your head at the same time. No, let's just lift our leg, and then after we'll pat our head.
The challenge is people reach their mental limit before they reach their physical limit. But enough of me for now. And we're just going to welcome back Susan. And I know I chatted with you, but it's a delight to see you in action. Definitely. Get back over.
Thank you for your kind words.
Hello, Susan. 3 years ago to this day, I woke up with a heart attack. And since then, for just over 2 years, I joined a gym. I have been trying to do, part of my problem was mobility. Now, that was better than it was when I was 40, but still. And people don't seem to realize that, and they say it's too hard, but, what you were showing us today, anyone could have done. So this is how to get the message out there. You can do this. You can do this anywhere. You don't need to spend money to borrow a slogan. Just do it. So thank you very much for coming here. And I hope we can work with you again. Next week is
Debbie Danbrook.
And next week is Debbie Danbrook, who is our labyrinth.
Shakuhachi.
Oh, yes. And the Shakuhachi player. So I hope you can join us for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. It's over here.
Thank you, Fazia.
You're welcome, Anne.